All right, we're back with another State of Origin preview. Game 3, the decider. It all comes down to this. It's been quite an interesting series so far. Obviously, I think Queensland has been the better side throughout, going back to Game 1. Definitely, they were still the better side in that game. That send-off obviously changed a lot, but here we are, one apiece. Decider at Suncorp. Doesn't get much better than this at the home of Origin. It's been a very quiet build-up for this one, actually. Just not much going on at all. I know Huddy Young, he tried to throw a few shots. It's pretty light, really, but, obviously it's better than nothing. It's sort of gone to the old days where you used to sort of have some players in the media. They'd be, throwing a few shots left, right, and centre, but that doesn't sort of happen these days. So, we'll take what we can get. But anyway, it's coming into this preview. Basically, probably the main thing you got to look at there is there's been just quite a lot of talk about New South Wales. Really, there hasn't been much talk about Queensland, to be honest. It's been pretty quiet on the Western Front, but basically I think this is a really big game for both teams. Obviously, New South Wales in particular, if they lose this game, there's going to be a lot of talk about their halves. Loz, he looks like this series has aged him about 20 years. He just, the body language that he's giving off at the moment, obviously just going off of the body language, he looks quite stressed. And Origin will do that. It'll bring out that in the coaches, the players, the staff, the fans. Just there's been quite a lot of talk about Mitchell Moses being picked. Which, personally, I don't think he is in great form to be picked at the moment. But in saying that, I think there was a bit of talk about that he didn't do anything in Game 2. And I sort of think that if you actually go off of the stats, you sort of look at particularly the kicking stats, I think, is he had 2 less kicks than Cleary, and he kicked for 324 meters and Cleary kicked for 259. And I thought the crucial kicks where Queensland were really winning the field position battle, I thought there was a few kicks there where Mitchell Moses really got him out of trouble. So I think that was an underestimated part that he does bring to any team. It's the same as Parramatta, like his kicking is he's probably got the longest boot in the comp. He can really make an ordinary set into a good one. And there was a couple of times where you could even see Sammy Walker, when Queensland were under the pump in the first half, he put a kick in and it really wasn't getting the same distance on him. So he's been great this series though, Sammy Walker. His first game in Queensland, it's going to be a good one. Jai Arrow, he's going to be, from all reports, he's going to be carrying out the shield and he's going to be there when the Queenslanders run out. So I think that's a big benefit to Queensland, just that, having him there, playing for Jai. Obviously on Sunday, you've got his birthday celebrations with the Bunnies. So, thoughts going out to Jai. He's, really showing at the moment how much of a tough bugger he is, and he played like that as well. So it's it's good to see. And just one thing about rugby league, they know how to rally around, and it just really shows what a great game it is. All the fans, the players, everyone's just getting around him. So it's good to see. But yeah, like as far as this game goes, they're really, probably the only other thing I'd say, there's a bit of a question mark on Paddy Carrigan. He's coming back from an injury, hasn't played any club football for a few weeks now. I think 5 or 6 weeks. But he's a pretty seasoned campaigner, and put it this way, I'm glad he's in the side. Like, I think he just adds a lot to the middle rotation there. He's just a solid middle, and that's where Origin's won, through the middle. You generate ruck speed, can go a long way to winning the game. So there's also a bit of talk that this could be Money's last game, Cameron Munster. Not sure how true that is, but it'd be very sad if he retires. I think he's got a lot left in the tank, but we'll see what happens. Also, Billy, a lot of talk about him, and Loz. I think pretty much everyone knows that that's sort of coming to an end there. I just think it's really shown this series, like, he's when he gets in front of the cameras and that, I think a lot of the stress is really sort of starting to show on him, and it's done it to a lot of coaches at the Origin arena. It doesn't matter how experienced you are as a player or a coach. Once they I think the media's probably gone quite easy on him, really, considering the circumstances. So he's probably got off pretty lucky there, but seems like a good enough bloke anyway. And like, obviously you don't want anything getting personal, like, just keep it about the footy. But yeah, all right, well, like the first couple of games, gonna have a bit of a few bets on this one. Sticking with the man of the match, I've picked him in the first 2 games. Harry Grant, I think he's played great this series. Just the way he manipulates markers, and what he does around the ruck. Like, I think it's there's just not another hooker in the comp that has that sort of ruck awareness, and he just knows how to pick markers out, and he's done it in the first 2 games. He's created line breaks, he's created tries, adds another kicking option. So yeah, sticking with Harry, can't get off him now. He's also my man of the series, as I picked at the start. So, but I think he's going to have a bit of competition there. Selwyn Cobbo, he's had a great series. So, yeah, well, and that's who I'm going to be picking as my first try scorer. I'm going to go Selwyn Cobbo, and for the Blues, I'll stick with Mark Nwanganita-Wase. So yeah, well, honestly, there's not that much to break down in this game. There was a little bit of a injury concern, I think, around Ethan Strange. But yeah, again, the build-up's just been so quiet. Like, there really just hasn't been much going on. The 2 teams will sort it out on the night, and just looking forward to a decider at Suncorp. It's something that me and my family, my pop passed away last year, and it's always an emotional one watching the Origins. But I still get that same vibe as if he's sitting there right next to me having a 4x gold. So yeah, hopefully they can get the job done for Pop. All right, well, enjoy your Origin footy.